Hi again folks, how's all doing? So today I'm going to be doing a wee bit of ballasting. Now, there are a lot of examples out there of ballasting done really well, on YouTube in particular. I'm sure you've all seen certain YouTube channels that, the model railways look amazing and the ballasting just looks perfect. Um, Sometimes I think it looks a bit too perfect actually. I think if you look at real ballast on the railway, it's anything, it's far from perfect. I was driving past the East Coast Main Line the other day, had a look at the ballast, and yeah, it was piled up on one side of the track and it was all different colours and scattered down the embankment here and there. It's never perfect. So I think sometimes it's just too neat on some model railways. But that's just me. As far as I'm concerned, ballasting's like any other aspect of modelling a railway. Do whatever you think is right for you, what you find acceptable, and what you believe to be effective for your model railway. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm sure some people throw their hands up in horror at what I do, but this is not a tutorial. I I am aware of all the various methods of how it's done, and I've tried them all. Believe me, when I built my last layout, I'd never ballasted before, so when I came to do that, I watched a lot of videos on how people were doing it and tried all the different methods. But in the end, I kind of just did my own thing, which is kind of what I end up usually doing anyway with these types of things. So this is just going to let you see how I go about doing it. Right, okay, let's crack on. So as you can see in this track here, I've ballasted up to here. So I'm going to continue the ballasting round and include this point. Maybe stop about there for now. And also these two lines here need to be ballasted round up to and including the diamond crossing there. So we'll start off doing this bit here. Okay, so I'm using Woodland Scenic's medium ballast, a mixture of grey and brown. Just pour out some brown, a bit more grey than brown, and then just mix it up. And just pour it on. Then I just use a paintbrush just to brush it in. Usually find it spills over the side of the rails quite nicely. If you kind of brush and flick it to one side, you can control it to one side or the other. Just tidy it up with the brush down the sides. If you think you've got a bit too much, you can just brush it forwards. You don't want it piled up too high at either side because it can interfere with track cleaning and things, but it doesn't have to be perfectly level. It's okay to have little piles of it, I think. And I'm not too worried about how neat the edge is just now, because when I add in whatever goes in here, whether it's grass or brown scatter or whatever, that's when I tidy up that line. Okay, I'm just about to add the ballast over this point. This is why I have the tape either side of the point and underneath that covers the hole in the polystyrene for the point motor, so that the ballast doesn't just pour into it. The ballast itself doesn't present too much of a problem with the points, but when you come to glue it, that's when you can have some interesting issues once the glue sets. Yeah, the point will stick, but it really is a case of just sorting it out once it's done. But I don't see any way around it. No matter how meticulous you are, if you're going to glue the ballast in the point, you're going to end up with some problems to solve afterwards. It's nothing that can't be sorted. Or certainly I haven't had too much trouble sorting it out, but usually once the glue sets, the point is stuck, so you have to free it up, and sometimes little bits of ballast get stuck here and there, and yeah, it can be some fun and games, but I'm not quite sure what the alternative is. You could leave this area of the point unballasted, but I don't think that would look too good. I dare say there are solutions to it, but I just fire on, get the ballast in, glue it up, and then free the point up afterwards. So pour it on. So let's get a bit more over there. You do have to be careful either side of the point to make sure there's room for, you know, this little arm to move back and forward. It's a good idea to set the point kind of in the middle so you can get the ballast to sweep through, so it's not going to get caught. But it is inevitable you'll have a few issues to sort out. Where I've drilled down through the polystyrene, there's a big hole, so I've obviously got to plug it up. So I usually just shove some tissue paper down and that'll stop the ballast from falling through. Okay, so there we are. That's as much as I'm going to lay just now. So now I need to soak it and then glue it. So I'm just going to very gently spray it with water. I'm just using a plant sprayer. The reason for doing this is so that when I pour the glue on, the glue immediately soaks into the ballast and doesn't just sit on the top. Now I'm just using ordinary PVA that I've watered down. It's nice and runny, and I like to use these little squeezy water bottles for doing this. Just drop it on all the way down the middle of the track, and then just gently over the sides, and it'll soak in, make a bit of a mess, but once that dries the ballast will be solid. Just tidy up a couple of wee bits where it's maybe spilled away. But once this starts to set, you don't want to touch it until it's set properly. Usually it takes a bit of time to harden, so I normally leave it overnight. But I'll crack on and get all the rest of this glued up. Okay, ballast all glued up, and it's been left overnight, and it's set quite nicely. Still a bit of work to do in it though. You know, when you add the water, it does tend to lift some of the ballast up, and there's all wee bits and pieces that you got to get rid of. So usually just rubbing your finger on the top of the sleepers will get rid of most of it. But sometimes you just got to get a screwdriver in and just pick away little bits and pieces. The grains of ballast do get everywhere, so there's always a bit of work to do. Have to pick away at the points to make sure there's no ballast interfering with them. And I'm also going to clean up the points where the where contact is made. Just check this point works okay. Still a bit sticky. It's better. Okay, so that's all the points and the crossings cleaned up. All the points are working. So what I'm going to do now is just quickly go over it all with a hoover, just to pick up all the loose. So once all the loose ballast has been sucked up, it usually leaves one or two little bits that need patched up. So just deal with them in the same way, just patch them up with ballast, wet them, spot of glue. Once I'm happy with the ballast and it's all glued in, I use a track rubber to clean all the glue off the rails. Now, I know some people don't like track rubbers, but personally, I've had no issue with them on nickel track. Steel track was another matter and scratched quite badly with any abrasive cleaning, but I clean my nickel track with a track rubber and it's fine. You need something pretty abrasive to get rid of all the glue, and I do the same thing after painting the track initially as well. So there we are, that's my ballasting done from here all the way around to there. I think I'm going to carry on and just do this bit as well. Might as well. I need to go and get some more grey ballast though. One thing I've completely forgotten to mention is painting my sleepers. The tracks have all been painted, really just a dark matte grey, just using acrylic paint. Bit of black, bit of white, and a bit of brown. Just mix that up and just whack it on. So I'll get these tracks painted, then ballasted, and then I'm going to do some work on the station. And after that, we'll be adding scatter, I think. Slowly but surely, it's getting there. Alright, folks. Well, there you go. That's how I do my ballast. Catch you later.